Hello, I think I'm live. Uh, it's time for me to suck at streaming again. Let's see. Okay, today I'm gonna color Ben Jones as Captain Marvel, which isn't really a lot of coloring. And I am hearing myself, and that's done, taken care of. Oh yeah, I'm lagging. And I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming today, simply because I just got home from my bloodletting. Usually I like to take it easy after I've had that happen. I don't suspect many people are gonna be coming in simply because EBS is still streaming. And again, if anyone wants to come in, the link to the Hangout is up. Um, just feel free to come on in. Until then, it's probably just gonna be click ASMR. I don't know how people do this and they talk to themselves. Or they don't have anyone in the room, so they don't really. But they continue to talk. It's really weird. I don't know how they do that. I suppose I could talk about my comic The Veilbore, but nothing comes to mind to actually talk about. It's the problem. That I know all this stuff about it, I just don't know what people want to hear. It's a very basic thing. It's just pretty much just about people going to war, and that's about it. More to say without people asking questions, so it's kind of weird to try to describe it or talk about it. It's largely because I don't have any questions about it. If I had questions about it, then that'd be different. And it's kind of like thinking to yourself, why did you do that when you're looking at something and then trying to explain it to yourself when you already know the answer and you're not actually asking that, so. It doesn't seem interesting and you don't know what's interesting to other people. And really, you just can't think of a question. Well, I can't think of a question to answer for any of this stuff. Of course, it doesn't help that I'm not naturally inclined to talk a whole lot to begin with. Get me started on a subject, I can talk forever, but that's not too often that happens. And then I have to be careful about how much I say because lots of people don't care about going too far in depth about anything. They just want to know the surface details, and that's about it. And if that's not the problem, it's usually I just don't care about the subject, like sports or really kind of collecting. I don't care about collecting all that much. Kind of weird to be always in a place where people like to collect, and like I don't care about digital versus physical. It's the same thing, and it's better for me to do digital stuff because if it's less likely that it'll get destroyed. Because anything that I get has a high likelihood of getting destroyed anyways. Well, there's no impetus to actually collect. And I've just never been a collector all that much. Which is really strange since like a lot of people around me are collectors. Never saw the point in it other than for like monetary gain. And even then, like I said, anything that I try to collect gets destroyed anyways. I don't know, I'm more personally into the actual thing than the prestige or the status of having the damn thing. I'd rather know about what's in the book than having the book, you know? Or being able to read it rather than having the book but not being able to read it. I don't know. And then there's also the like when I talk about a book, it's hard to be sound interested because I'm not interested in the in really trying to sell it so much as or the completed product. I like the creation process rather than the completed work. And I like to riff and talk to people about that when I'm creating the thing, but not so much. I don't really care about the finished product. I care about the if it's good quality or not, but I don't know. It's just really weird. That's why I don't really seem all that super interested or excited or anything like that. Because all the creation stuff for the Veil War happened like a decade ago. No, it's bad that I don't sound all that interested. But, you know, I can fake it. Maybe, possibly. But then how do you fake being excited? And how do you keep it up for so long, you know? Doesn't really matter though, since I'm not getting on any of these streams. Don't know why that's the case, but that is the case. Or rather, I should say I haven't been invited thus far, or replied back to, or whatever. Let's see, I know there was a mistake somewhere in here. I mean, it was too over the line, or I was on the line, or something like that. I'll fix that, I guess. Oh, here it is. Funny thing is, I could probably talk for a lot longer if I just went and looked at Indicron and just commented on everything. Because that's not very hard to do, at least in my opinion. Of course, I would trash most of the books there, and even though I don't mean to, and I wouldn't be looked too good upon. So that's out as a plan. It should be a little bit darker than that. Oh, it doesn't even look like it changed colors. That's not right. Oops, don't need that. Select, deselect. Okay, what's going on? Ah, that's why. I got to change and put that in multiply. Just noticed there's no bottom bit to her jacket. Usually it's a trench coat from what I see in all the all the references. Didn't realize that until just now. Hello. Nothing much. Just trying to talk to myself. Yeah, I'm not expecting people to come. Just coloring this. I got home from getting bloodlet earlier. So I don't know how long I'm going to actually stream. But I gotta create a habit for myself, so. Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, isn't that like expected? Oh, come on, it's a aggregation site. It's like it's not that all that credible to begin with because you're gonna have people that are going to be doing that shit anyways. Well, if there's money in it, they're gonna do it. Or at least eventually they're gonna do it. Yeah, while I was getting bloodlet, the nurse was, I guess that's called a nurse? I'm not sure. She said that she had seen, and it wasn't all that bad. Just standard action fare. But I don't think she's all that much of a fan of comics in general, and she said that she likes them, but she likes the group ones like Avengers more. Yeah, I've seen all of the movies up until I think Captain Marvel. I've seen quite a bit of the shows, uh, but I haven't watched any of the most recent ones. And once they started doing the whole obvious what they were going to do and start taking uh, a more SJW ideology agenda thing, it's like, yeah, I'm out. I'll probably watch them eventually, but I don't have any immediate interest in going and watching them. Well, they did that. Like I said, what's her name? Uh, Lindsay Ellen didn't like Beauty and the Beast because it was pushing that agenda too much. I don't think she would say that, like outright stated that's the reason. But all her criticisms were pretty much, you ruined it. It's like, and every single one of them were, you ruined it because of the SJW agenda point. So it's kind of hilarious. Yeah, whatchamacallit, the guy in charge of something, one of these franchises. I'm not sure if it was Star Wars or Marvel. I think he was pissed off at the results of Captain Marvel. And I think that one, yeah. Well, is it John Campea? I'm not sure. I think it was the owner of Marvel. Yeah, it was Iger. Iger mentioned. Yeah, I heard that he was pissed off at Captain Marvel for some reason. I don't know the full story about that. Yeah. Well, neither do I. So. It is funny though that it does show that the SJWs can do it when they're not pushing ideological agendas with Orville. McFarlane. Seth Green is the guy from yeah. I'm not sure. He's. I know Seth Green is from Married with Children. I know he's a voice actor too, though. Chris Griffin? Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane does the Orville. That's cool. I don't know how long I'm going. This should be fairly quick. And like I said, I just got bloodlet, so no idea how long I'll care to keep going. I think people think I'm joking about that. Uh, I think people think I'm joking when I say I have to get bloodlet. I have a hemochromatosis. My blood iron like collects. So if I don't have like just have blood drawn, it accumulates and eventually it'll give me blood poisoning, well, metal poisoning, which is horrible. Yeah, a lot of people do that. Mm, depends on how much you have, but I have to do it monthly. Yeah, and I might not be able to get it done anymore. Starting next year. Those stupid insurance shit. Which means I'm gonna die in a few years, which kind of sucks. But you know, well, yeah. The problem is that the insurance wants you to do like should be able to show you like did 80 hours of work a month and or do charity work. It's like motherfucker, if I could do either of those, I wouldn't be on your shitty insurance. I'm not sure if that's would they would count that as work, since it's not making money. So that's the problem. Cause yeah, cause every piece that I do is like 2 to 4 hours at least. No, I mean each piece of art that I do is like 2 to 4 hours it takes. So it wouldn't be that hard if it was like just that. If I could prove off of that, but I don't know. Can't. It's not. I don't own it. Yeah, I'd have to do a lot of asking around to get each of these. Well, at least you can quit it. My toxins build up naturally just from living. Have you ever seen what happens to people with mercury poisoning? I don't know if their skin boil, but they get really stupid. It destroys their brain, their eyesight, like pretty much destroys their organs, everything. It's a really horrible death. I'm like, wow, thanks guys. I've known about it for like a few years now, 2 or 3 years now. But yeah, I got to win the genetic lottery on that one. Uh, my brother and mom have a real rare genetic illness called hereditary angioedema. I was like, oh, I don't have that, so that's good. It's what happens with that is if you are under any stress, your skin starts to swell. So if you get hit, or if you get, or if you're just stressed in general, you just start to swell, and it can kill you via, swelling your windpipe closed or something like that. And apparently, my brother has an even rarer version of that, where it's stomach, where it affects his stomach. So, so I was like, yeah, I don't have shit. And then all of a sudden, like, about 2 years ago now, like I just got out of the shower, was hungry. It was late at night, uh, and I just passed out. I didn't know what was wrong, and I just fainted on the ground, hit my side. And I was like, what the fuck happened? And went to the doctors and had a bunch of tests done, and they discovered that I had this shit. Uh, to get it, you have to have it's it's a recessive gene. So I had to have both of my parents had to have the recessive gene, which is fun. Like, yeah. Yeah, and also I might have polycythemia, but they didn't really tell me whether I have that or not. It's another blood disease which increases red platelet count, which means I have to have this. I have to get bloodlet anyways for that because uh, it like clogs up the blood and makes it more likely to get a heart attack. So I have like 5 or 6 things that are make it more likely that I'm gonna die from a heart attack or liver cancer. So I'm hoping that I'm trying to fight each of them individually. It's fun. And it's like, what's the best case scenario? Well, I die of a heart attack. What do you mean that's the best case scenario? It's like, yeah. Like, do you know what happens to people with liver cancer? Do you know what happens to people with metal poisoning? That's not a pretty picture. Oh, that's easy. I have none. No. Well, the most Star Wars stuff that I've ever had is I had a uh, Star Star Wars RPG thing. It was a card game of some sort. Yeah, yeah. I have no idea where that went. Yeah, I think it's a different one, but uh, because it was like, I think the cards are a little bit bigger than the ones that I saw in his show. Yep, and the VHS degrades over time, and yeah, me getting into that shit has never worked out. Uh, I got a whole bunch of magic cards when I just went off to art college, and then like I was like, oh, you guys play? Sure, I'll buy a bunch. I have money. Why not? And then I played like one time. Like, wow, I just spent like $400 on a whole bunch of cards, and now I can't do anything with them because there's no one to play with. Like, this was a great investment. Same thing happened to Pokemon too. I had all the Pokemon TCG. Eventually, I was just like, fuck it. No, that was just Yu-Gi-Oh. There's no card. Pokemon isn't about fighting cards. Exos- You call it Exo Squad? You mean Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad? I'm pretty sure they're the same. I hmm. Uh, they're form a like superhero squad. It's one of the series that is pretty much a Power Rangers ripoff of some sort. I mean, there's a main guy that goes in. He's like the main uh like he has his own body and everything, and then there's all these characters that drive cars and vehicles and shit, and they become his armor. Oh yeah, yeah. It's the Megazord, and each of them break out into the Zords. Yeah, I like Power Rangers, but it is cheesy. Yeah, it's similar. You just can't keep going and going with some of this shit. Well, well, the reason it happens to me is because of the like the fan subbers like just take a break, and everything gets delayed and delayed and delayed, and it's like, well, I guess I'll just come back when they're actually going to update the fucking series, and that's like months and months and months, and you just like sort of forget. Like, I don't know, there's got to be like 50 series that I've read up to like the halfway point, and then the fan subbers just stopped translating. So I've just forgot about them. Yeah, I've never done that before. I try not to do that. I prefer to be able to know what's being said. Uh, in fact, if the timing is off on the translation, sometimes I just give up and I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not gonna. It's like, it's not that hard. It's just putting in the right numbers. Yeah, that's one thing it's only worse if when like if it's a poor translation and the translators are jackasses. Uh, like there's a good I don't know if it's really an anime, if it's classified as it, but The King's Avatar. Uh, the I like the web novel. I'm still reading it, but and the anime itself is really well, the story itself is really popular, but they made an anime of it, and they tried to uh force everything into like a certain amount of time, and it should be much longer. It's like, okay, we're already dealing with this, and then you have the sub going in. It's a bad sub, and then they make rude comments on the thing. It's like, motherfucker, shut your goddamn mouth and stop commenting and correct your mistakes. Like, spend that time to do that. Oh yeah, I know how it's a completely different grammar. So no, that's good. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this guy, like whoever the translator was. He was just making comments, like stupid, shitty comments that had no business with the thing. Like, like yeah, it's even like that's great. That's fine. It's like rude comments about the show while they're making it. Like I'm trying to read your translation. What the fuck are you doing? About what? Oh no, you mentioned it, but we didn't talk about it. Yeah. Akira, Japanese guy. That'd be funny to just like have a screen name just like Akira Nihonjin. It's like, what does that mean? Akira, Japanese guy. Yeah, don't forget all the Nintendo bullshit and the Dragon Quest stuff and the Dragon Quest. They just changed some shit. They like there was some things that could be considered a little bit racy in there, but that they covered up. But it wasn't anything actually racy. And Nintendo, there was that. I think it was Nintendo. There's a woman on there that was defending uh, pedophilia on the stuff, and I don't think that she was all that bad. She was trying to defend the Japanese culture and lolicon. Just based on that, okay, whatever. But I mean, what she was saying was like, yeah, okay, that seems about right. But then she was saying some other shit, but uh, like, no, pedophilia is all right. It's like, wait. No, we get the culture thing with lolicon. Uh, the pedophilia part where you think it's okay to defend the people uh, trying to molest people. Now that's a different thing. And it's happened that she was also like a part-time hooker and stuff like that. And she was like a PR agent for, I think, Nintendo. It's like, and like it's Nintendo, it's a kid's brand. What the fuck? Well, no, she was getting into defending the molestation of part. It's like I don't like. It's a really difficult topic because if you mention stuff about pedophilia, then people are all against you and everything. But like, it is closer to homosexuality and all like that than people want to admit. It's an attraction. So, but it just happens that the if you act on it, it's dangerous and it's bad. That's the part that's different. So, yeah. Yeah, it's like, hitting people isn't all that bad. I mean, there's boxers that like to hit people. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. It's the whole, hitting people that don't want to be hit thing that is the problem. But yeah, that's why people need to really, like, uh, distinguish between pedophilia and molestation since there's a difference there. It's a very important difference. Well, no, molestation applies to everyone and anyone. Pedophilia is just the attraction part. So it's like, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? People are never gonna learn. People are gonna keep this. So whatever. Um, See, this is where I have to like explain stuff with how I view things. As I don't view uh sexuality as regular sexuality. Like there is no, well, I'm attracted to men. I'm attracted to women. It's like no, that's not how that works. You're attracted to things, and those things are like you have a greater or lesser attraction towards them. There's no, I'm just attracted to men. Like no, you're attracted to maybe the form of men, or you're attracted to a kink or something like that, but you're not attracted just to men or just to women. So like if your kink is domination, for example, you might just like to have the sense of dominating things, which then leads into a whole bunch of manifestations. So when you apply that to like pedophilia, you might be attracted to not the form of a child, but the fact that having sex with a child would be a dominating thing. Oh yeah, it's just a matter of what actually people are into, I think. Because when I listen to people about their stuff and when I think about my own attractions and stuff, I don't ever go, "Well, I'm attracted to a woman." It's like that's not how that works. I'm like, "Oh, I like tits." Yeah, sure, I'll like tits. Or and then you go into this whole trap culture. It's like, well, it has a dick, but it looks like a female. It has a dick. It looks like those are some nice tits. Okay, we can get over the dick. you know, that's how that whole trap culture works. Yeah, like there's all these competing things. Now, if you were just attracted to men or attracted to women, that wouldn't be the case, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's just it just manifests in different ways in different people and how you see it. It's really kind of interesting when you start to observe yourself on that level. It's like, oh, that's why that's interesting to me. like, like if you're into like monster women, that's well, what's attractive about monster women? Is it because they're threatening on some level? They're well, then you go into go. Okay, would you be considered a furry? See, now you got to think about that one. It's like, what about scalies versus furries? It's like it's a furry, but with reptiles and lizards and stuff like that. There's no distinguishing between for some people. All right, all right, peace. All right, I'll talk to you later. Peace. Are you still here? And back to silence. Hello, Gus. How you doing? I have to figure out a quick way to color lightning. I'm fine. I just got back from, well, about an hour or two ago now, from getting my bloodletting. Monthly bloodletting. It's fun. So, I'm down about a quarter of a liter, a little bit over a quarter of a liter of blood. It doesn't affect me much, but I like uh, to take it easy on that days usually. Just out of precaution. This month went pretty good. Last month I had they poked me 6 times the first day, couldn't get my blood, and then had to come in the next day and they poked me 4 more times before they could get it. And if you can't see or you don't know, I'm coloring Ben Jones's Monica Rambeau that he drew on Drawn and Quartered the other day. I don't know why he thought it wasn't that great. Of all the ones that I saw, it was like the first one that I was like, yeah, I gotta have that one to color. It's actually not all that painful. At least to me. I'm pretty tolerant to pain. But, you know, different people. My brother hates needles and blood and all like that. And getting a phlebotomy is a lot better when you have people doing it than knowing what they're doing than the average nurse that I have. But like my veins are hard to get, so I just have to put up with it or accumulate iron and die. That's my options. Hopefully as I lose weight it gets easier and easier though. I'm hoping I'm losing weight. I can't really tell, but because I'm over 400 pounds, and so the scales that are all around everywhere only go up to 400 pounds. So can't really tell, but everyone's like, "Oh, you look slimmer." So I'm hoping that I actually am slimmer, and that my weight was actually much higher than I thought it was when I started. Also, I prefer to just be poked multiple times than the solution that they like to try to put on me, which is PICC line. PICC lines are easy to get infected, and they don't really work all that well to begin with for bloodletting. If you've ever had given blood, the needle is bigger, but if you've gone and had gotten a lot of done a lot of this type stuff, you'll know that the bigger the needle is, the more immediate the pain is, but the quicker it fades. Like once I'm done with the in my arm, you can't feel it anymore. Like uh even once you get in there, it's just when they move it around to find the vein, then if they get the vein, then it hurts a little bit, but once that's over, it doesn't hurt at all. And then there's no residual pain. Whereas with the tinier needles, they're usually more painful, and well, they're less painful than the bigger needle, but they're more painful in terms of the residual pain because it lasts way longer and it's more aggravating. It's kind of like a paper cut versus a regular cut. Like paper cuts aren't all that bad, and they're tiny, hard to see, but they're annoying as all fuck if you've for a very long time. Whereas if you like just dig in and you get yourself a cut. It's not all that bad. It might hurt right off the bat, but that after that initial pain goes away, it's a lot easier to deal with. Also, it's hard to complain about any of this stuff when it's at where I go to do it is a cancer ward, so I have to go in and like see a bunch of people like who have cancer and are probably gonna die from it. So it's like, okay, I'm the most healthy person here, like the other than the nurses. It's hard not to be at least a little bit humble and a little bit on the okay, whatever they're doing, it's probably not that bad. What I was saying earlier, my brother hates blood and needles. You get him around blood and needles, and he just hates it. He hated it when I had the PICC line in, because you could see that you can see the needle going into your arm, and you just have to have it like that. It's you carry it around. It's a semi-permanent thing where you just walk around with the needle and the line and everything in you, and then they use that line to pull off blood or whatever. Over than having a PICC line in, because it takes a PICC line requires daily maintenance. And if you don't get it right, you can get it infected, and you can again you get to die a horrible death from it. If you don't take care of it wrong, you get a blood infection, and you don't get it treated right away, which nearly happened to me twice. Which, fun. Having a headache and a fever, and trying to sell people stuff uh, isn't all that easy. Because I had my brother called me in to run his store for him when it happened. I didn't realize what was happening, and I had a fever and a headache the entire day. And I just like put up with it. And I felt like awful the entire time, and everyone that came in They sort of noticed. I was like, yeah, leave me the fuck alone already. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk to you. You're being annoying. Shut up. I'm going to kill you if you don't leave me alone. I think they started to notice it. So. Especially since I'm not really like that and normally. Takes me being really kind of gloomy to get to that point. Yeah, I thought I was only gonna probably be on here an hour or so. But and I'd be completely done with this by then. But this lightning is taking a very long time. I hadn't considered that part. Should make a mental note that anything like stringy takes like a long time to select and color out. And back to silence. Deselect. Get there just in case. Okay, let's see. Where are the points where I need to subtract? Blah blah blah. See, that's see, is that everything? I don't know. Let's see. Whoops. This one. Whoops, no. Select inverse. There we go. Select, deselect. There we go. Huh. Now we gotta color the stars. It's pretty much just, I don't know. That's gray is fine. Just brighten it up a bit. So what? 60. That up to, I don't know, 40. So bit darker. Maybe that can be a little bit lighter. 70. There's that. Now we're gonna take and go 50. Don't know what that is. Maybe it's a lightning bolt. Huh. Yeah, I'll just decide it's a lightning bolt. Well, that's the easiest way to go about doing this one, because it's clean enough that it should be that. And Leslie, and not sure. Should let's see. There should be. Let's go with screen. And then we go with fill with black. Select, deselect. Screen. Philip.